super excited to meet you guys, and we had a great time last night at the City Council with Navasota. And if you've never joined us during one of our Artisan Residents Live, today we have our new Artisan Residents that are in Navasota, and we have Lisa Nelson and Saskia Becker, sorry about that. And you ladies y'all been in the house, what now, for a week? 2 weeks?
No, more. It's been a month exactly.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That is awesome. It seems like yesterday to me.
It feels like yesterday to us as well.
Oh my gosh. And y'all got some exciting things coming up because y'all are fixing to have like a meet and greet, right?
Yep. On Saturday the 30th from 12 to 5, we're going to have cookies, we're going to have punch, we're going to have some wine, we're going to have some refreshment. It'll be great.
Wow.
We're really excited to meet everyone that we can and show our artwork as well.
I love it. Well, let's get started with a few things. And Navasota is not our only Artisan Residence program. We also have one in College Station that happens, or it starts in June. And then we also have one in the city of Bryan that starts or the applications are in 2022. So be on the lookout for that. And Lisa, let's start with you. So this is your first time.
Yes.
Just give us a little bit of background about who you are and why you decided to come to the Navasota Artisan Residence Program.
Of course. So my name is Lisa Nelson. I'm from outside of Boston, Massachusetts, in rural Massachusetts, in a small town called Air, about the same size as Navasota. And I do a lot of artwork. I do watercolors and I do a lot of artwork based on nature and maps. I'm absolutely obsessed with maps. I can't get enough of them, but I also love wildlife. So I've done a number of pieces based on the wildlife that you can find in New England. I'm really excited to be here in Texas because you've got all sorts of new things that I can discover and paint, and lots of great maps and a lot of great history. And there's so much great history in Navasota. It's a really well-preserved town, unlike what you would find up in New England, because we just constantly build over things. So it's nice to have this well-preserved town where everything is kind of like it looked like in the 1890s, including this house, which we love.
Awesome. So why did you decide to come to the Navasota Artisan Residence?
Because it sounded like unusual, unique activity. A lot of artists in residencies are not in historic homes, and this town of Navasota seemed really cool, as well as the Arts Council in College Station. I really enjoyed meeting with, when I got to interview for this, I really had a good feeling about all the people I met. They all seemed wonderful, and they have been incredibly supportive and helpful this whole time. And this has just seemed like a really unique community to be a part of, and it is very artistically minded, and we've really enjoyed it. Like, they've been so welcoming. We love it, and it's a great learning experience for me as well.
Great town. Love the city of Navasota. So let's talk about a few pieces of your work. So tell me what's going on here.
Great. So this is a series that I did for an outdoor installation in Concord, Mass. It was based on the writings of Henry David Thoreau, who lived in Concord, Mass, used to walk around with his friend, Ralph Waldo Emerson, who owned the land. And he would he would have these wonderful diary entries where he'd write about all the local wildlife. So this is one on the American bullfrog. And if you'd like, I can read the quote that goes with this piece.
Oh, love that.
Okay. He wrote back in 1858, "I hear in several places the low dumping notes of the awakened bullfrogs, which I call their pebbly notes, as if they were cracking pebbles in their mouth. At Ball's Hill, I hear the first regular bullfrog's trump. It is enough for the day to have heard only the first half trump of an early awakened one from far in some warm meadow bay."
Wow. I'm glad you read that, because I can see how that all came together now, like with the music in the background.
Yes. I was looking for trumpet music. So this is based off trumpet music. And then the little purple pond in the middle is part of where these paintings are installed at a town forest in Concord called the Hapgood Wright Town Forest, right near Walden Pond, actually.
Oh,
So
wow. And I love how the frogs are kind of see-through, so you can see beyond that.
Yes, it's my way of doing maps and wildlife together. So I have them kind of looming over the landscape as if they're part of it, but also separated from it.
Saskia, what do you think?
I love the contrasting colors, and I think that animals always have, you can always count on them to create a focal point in work, especially when they're animals like frogs, or there's always like, the trendier animals. So you got like frogs and toads are pretty popular. So are things like foxes and
Birds.
Put
a bird on it.
Owls are huge right now. And I think that whenever you can include something like that, not only can you kind of show them something else, like someone throws quotes and like this other way to see wildlife, but you can also kind of pull them in with the cuteness of the animal as well. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but I think there's a lot to be said for that, especially when, there's all kinds of art out there and you have to find your own way to get people to be interested in yours.
I love it. Frogs are cute.
They're very
They're cute.
Yeah.
There's your prince right there waiting to happen, right?
They're cute.
And they have frogs in Navasota, or not frogs, toads. And
Toad is a type of frog. Yeah.
We've seen a bunch and they're very cute.
Yes. And I'm working on some new ones based on the local toads. Yes.
I'm excited. Can't wait to see that. So what do we have going on here?
So this I did, so during the shutdown, the thing I missed most, it wasn't restaurants or movie theaters, it was art museums. I desperately missed going to art museums because I would go all the time. And so this was a piece in tribute to the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, in tribute to the building. The pink bit is the part that was the original part. And then when it was built around the turn of the century, 1909, and then it very quickly, organically grew from there. And now it's this huge building with a huge collection. And then it also has a tie into Houston, because for the first time, I think ever, they're loaning out some of their prized Impressionist pieces. And the only place in the US that is showing is the MFA Houston. It's about to open November 14th through the end of March. So I thought this would be a great piece, because if you're in the Houston area, you can go see some of the beautiful pieces from the MFA Boston. They'll be here for a limited time. I may go and see them again just to see them in a different museum, even though I've seen them, so many times. And my mother used to take me here all the time, and I've been to this building so many times, so it has like a real importance to me. But I also wanted to kind of feature it, pay tribute to the original building, and then kind of also show how this building has grown into like this museum juggernaut that it is today.
Oh. And I love the colors you put.
Thank you.
They flow really nicely.
Thank you. I worked hard on the colors.
I can tell. Very nice. What about this one?
So this one is an image based off of a map of 1917 Washington, D.C. I created this one in 2020 on the 100th anniversary of women's right to vote, the amendment being passed in 1920. So this is an image of Washington, D.C. in the suffragette colors of violet, gold, and white. And I just kind of enjoyed creating this kind of the colors flowing into each other. And then you have the Potomac going right through the middle of it.
Oh, wow. And so those places back in the far, I guess the purple and blues, that's just like lot of the map.
Yeah. So yeah, this is all the map. This is all a map of DC. So basically, if you see, you could see like the round circles. So that's basically right in front of the White House. But this is how it looked like back in 1917. So it doesn't look like this currently.
No, it does not.
I didn't draw every single block because I mean, even at that time, DC was already growing and growing. But yeah, so I enjoyed I did many versions of this, and then enjoy trying to get the color to go from purple to gold as quickly as possible, but in an organic way.
Wow.
And I really love the composition that you have in this one.
Thank you.
With some of the more structured map of the town. And then you also have this beautiful river flowing through, and it creates this really nice break in the piece, as well as what you were able to do with the colors. I really love that you're still able to get this really nice gradient from kind of this like maroonish purple to the yellow, even though there's this massive river in the middle. I think that's
Right.
like, you made it look so
Thank you.
effortless, but if you actually look at what it would have taken to do that, it's really impressive that you were able to get that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It took a couple versions. Yeah.
And that's all watercolor too.
Yeah. I love watercolor. It's very hard to control, but that's kind of what I love about it, that it's going to do something different each time, but it's magical in its own way.
And I will say to that too, it's Lisa's pieces are like any work, I think, is better in person when you can really see like all the different water stains and the way that the paint was able to dry.
Yeah.
I would really recommend that people come see it in person, whether that's at our meet and greet on Saturday, 12 to 5 p.m.
Perfect timing. I love it. Segue right in.
Yeah, or we're also open Thursday through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m. as well. And really, there's so much nuance in the colors and the water and all these different things. It's so unpredictable, and it's really cool to see up close and in person.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Same for Saskia's work. They are big and beautiful, these great elaborate oil paintings, and there's so much detail that just seeing them on screen doesn't do them justice. You need to come in and get your face right up to them and enjoy them.
Oh, I'm blushing.
It does not do it justice. And I love how y'all stuff kind of flows together. I noticed that when I was putting the slideshow together. So Saskia, I'm loving this picture. You look very in your element here.
Thank you.
You look like you were right in the middle of painting, and that someone made you stop, and you're like, all right, I'll take it.
You guys want to know a secret?
Yes.
Yes.
I had set up my phone. I was having a really good hair day, and I thought it looked really cute. So I set up my phone on this shelf with these like books holding it up, and then I put the self timer on and took some photos of myself. And really, it should have been painting, but instead I was taking selfies that don't look like selfies.
No, they don't.
No, I love
now
it.
you guys know the secret behind the.
I love it. And see, look, it came in well and handy. Now you have a great photo to start with. I love it.
Thank you.
Now this looks super fun. It reminds me of New Mexico. And so I was very curious to hear what you're going to say about this piece.
Yeah, so it's New Mexico. I'm glad you mentioned it, because the Albuquerque Balloon Festival, I don't know if it's actually called that, but it happens in Albuquerque. And so there, hundreds and hundreds of hot air balloons are coming up into the air around sunrise, and it's a lot of the reference photos that I got for this piece were from that festival. It's interesting though, because so this is based on a dream. All of my work is based on dreams or the subconscious in some way, and this piece was based on a dream I had about being in a hot air balloon. And it kind of like in the dream, it was a very quick dream, but it was silent, and it was around sunrise, and we were in these hot air balloons in the mountains, and I was in one, and I could see my sister in another, and I couldn't quite get her attention, and everything was quiet, and I couldn't talk, and she couldn't notice me. And then that was it. The dream was over. And it was like a really small, quick thing. It wasn't some epic of a dream. It wasn't, to be honest, it wasn't even super memorable, but I found it interesting. I wrote it down and kind of just set it aside. And then this was in February of 2020. And then March of 2020, of course, everything, went to, everything happened with the pandemic, of course. And I couldn't see my sister or my family or people that I wanted to see for a while. Or I was kind of cut off from people, and other people were cut off from me. And that's when I started painting this piece. So it was kind of about kind of the chaos and the stillness that was happening at that same time. And I was also trying to look at dreams are a lot like theater, and I was trying to take in some of those theatrical elements, particularly like setting up a stage or a scene, and trying to add that into my work as well to give it some sort of like dramatic effect. But yeah,
I can
it's
I can totally see everything that you're talking about. And I
Oh,
feel very horrible. I feel very horrible because I didn't tell you to like introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, why you chose the Navasota Artisan Residence. I was just so excited about this piece because it reminded me of all of that. And so anyway, so please give me some background about who you are.
sure. The most important thing about me is that I'm from Colorado.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I'm from Fort Collins, Colorado. So I graduated from Colorado State University and I've grown up there almost my whole life. I'm big into skiing, running, biking, hiking, rock climbing. I love being outside. I love the outdoors. Yeah, I'm big into travel. And yeah. And
Why'd you pick the Navasota Artisan Residence program?
I had seen it I was applying to a bunch of residencies and it was starting to become this frenzied thing of like, how many can I apply to? Who's going to take me in? And I had seen the College Station one earlier and thought, no, that doesn't seem quite right. And then I had seen Navasota and I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try. Like, this seems really interesting. Living in the house seemed like an awesome opportunity because not every residency has a place where you can live. Sometimes it's just, come and do your work. And you have to figure that out. So not only having a place to live, but also having it in this incredible historic home just seemed really cool. And also I think, and a lot of artists can relate to this, having the gift of time to be able to make your work and have people around you that support that is one of the biggest things you could ever get in your career or to be able to further your career is just that chance to have the time to make it. And then I think the other thing too, and the one thing I'd underestimated when I came here is the community here and how important that has been and will be for being supported as an artist and being able to actually make the dream of being an artist happen. And then last thing is, I think you guys have hosted a lot of artists here who are pioneers in their own work and have been really bold in how they express things. And I think that sometimes it can be tricky to take a chance on people like that are really kind of forging their own paths in art. And unfortunately, I think because that you get a lot of residencies or like places that are taking people who kind of maybe watered down the passion in their work to try and fit an audience. And I really appreciated that the artists that you've hosted in Navasota and College Station and Bryan for that matter have been people who are really bold in their own work and you support that. So that was a really long-winded answer, but
but I love it. And what I also love is that you guys will leave an impression in Navasota, because I know that everybody that meets any of our artist residents there, they just seem to always remember who they were, what all they did. And so I'm super excited to hear about how y'all's journey is going to go. So.
That's great to hear too. Yeah.
And this one's really neat. I love the passion flowers in there.
Thank you. It was painting them I wasn't sure how it was going to go. They're really tricky looking flowers, and there's some people out there that are just amazing at painting flowers, and I've never considered myself to be like a technically skilled flower painter, but these were a ton of fun. And I know you probably can't quite see it in this photo, but there's a ton of brush strokes kind of left. Like, I tried not to refine things as much, and I'm still kind of working and trying to keep things looser. And those passion flowers were a huge turning point in this painting because I was able to keep things really loose and you can still tell what it is, which is really exciting for me as a painter, because it was fun to do and it turned out cool. So
love it.
Yeah, this is based on another dream. I had these reoccurring dreams that I would be in a rainforest and I kept coming across these like little bamboo dwellings. And every time I had the dream, it was something different or it was in a different place, but it was like the same storyline over and over again. And I've kind of come to understand that that probably means that there was some deep internal growth happening at that time. And so it was really cool to kind of put it in this painting form that can still kind of tell a story and also still be a little abstract at the same time. But yeah, that's what this one is about. I finished it not too long before I came here, so it's still pretty fresh.
It's very warm and tropical, and it's
Very
like I want to be inside that painting.
Yeah.
Right?
Feels humid.
Yeah. No, but it looks like I want to be in that bamboo house. That looks really cool. I mean, if I can't be in the Horlock house.
There you go. There you go. I think my hair I would have very bad hair days.
Me too.
Absolutely.
But I would be in a beautiful place and I would just put a cap on. That's just how you do that. And you would need a hat in the tropics.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Oh, this one seems neat.
Yeah, so this is also, so I guess I should also explain, all of my work starts with me setting up little dioramas and then photographing them and then painting from that photograph. So this one, when I had photographed it, I was trying some new experiments with like trying to photograph things in like really bright light and have these like pieces of tracing paper kind of taped over the lens of the camera. And I was just trying to figure out like what can I do to make these paintings feel like, how can I capture the feeling of a dream in visual form? And this was kind of the answer to that. And I think there's still things that could be, there's things I could do to help create that feeling a little bit more, but this was a really exciting piece for me in the sense that I was able to get a little bit closer to that feeling of a dream, or maybe the feeling of a dream that you have when you don't quite, you knew what it was 2 seconds ago and now you have no idea.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just at the tip of your tongue, but you can't quite explain it. And that's what this turned out to be.
Yeah, definitely. It's like fading. It's quickly fading from view, which really works with the whole dream idea, even though like I believe those are shadows in the background, but it almost looks like it's just disappearing into the mist.
I'm glad that comes across because as artists, it's it's important to experiment and it's important to be a little risky, but at the same time, it can be 90% of those risks are all crap in some ways. You have to get through the crap to get to the good parts, and it's important to have those good parts, but you have to get through a lot of things first. So it can be really exciting when those risks have a reward to them.
When it somewhat matches what you see in your eye.
Yeah, and you're like,
in your mind's eye.
This is what I was going for. So that's always exciting.
But the way you explained it, I actually see exactly what you're talking about.
Awesome. No,
So
that's
you nailed it. In my opinion, you nailed it. So yes. And I do love the colors.
Thank you.
Especially all the blues, but I love blue. So that's probably why.
Me too. It's my favorite. And of course I'm wearing this blue shirt right now. But this one was also cool because I was able to do it on paper. And normally you can't do oil on paper. It will disintegrate the paper. But if you use shellac on the paper and then put the oil on it, then you can seal in the paper and still use oil. So if you come see this one, which you should, Thursday through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m.
That's right.
You can kind of see the transparency of the paper. And that was really, really fun to work with. And also another risky experiment that turned out to work really well.
Yeah, she used interesting textures on her painted surfaces, but you can't see that unless you come in person.
Yeah. But I totally see how you guys' work kind of really flow together. I don't know if it's just because of the colors you guys pick or how, I don't know, but I think it works very well together.
Color is very important to both of us, and I can see how we both pick, like we're very concerned about the colors and we'll do versions until we get the color schemes just right. And you can paint over because you're doing oil, but I will do multiple versions. Yeah.
I love it. That is so awesome.
We have a few pieces in the gallery that are paired together. So like Lisa's work and my work paired together. And part of that is because of the way that they flow together with the colors that are in them. And it's actually really cool to see how the two of us from totally opposite sides of the state
Right?
have this work that somehow really flows together. And that's
in
really
color
cool.
and themes sometimes. It's like, oh, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they chose well. They chose us well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, let me get into a few things that is happening at the Arts Council, and we'll come back and wrap up with you guys. So we've started our membership drive, and so we've had where you can renew every October, and we have business categories, we have individual categories, our affiliates, which is our nonprofit organizations, and associates, which would be like our artists, and that's any kind of artist. You could be an actor, you can be a photographer, a makeup artist, whatever kind of creative person you are, we have something for you with amazing benefits. So if you have any questions, just check it out at acbb.org. And then I absolutely love the exhibit that we have in the gallery right now. It's the Art of Sport with Jason, and just to hear some of his stories about some of the athletes that he interviewed while he was doing their work, and just knowing that he did Muhammad Ali and that he signed his work, and just listening to some of the things that he would say about the people. So if you are into sports, this is definitely an exhibit you need to check out. They've got Aggies, we've got Astros, I think the Celtics. I mean, there's all kinds of sports. You've got to check this out. It's here in our gallery until December 23rd. And then we also have tons of art classes happening. So check out our website to see which art class you would like to take. And these are for adults. And because we all need to have a little bit of art in our life. And
I'm sorry, can I add something really quick?
Yeah.
So I just want to say Lisa and I went and saw Jason's exhibit in College Station, and neither of us know, we don't even know like what
I recognize the
sports
Celtics,
are.
but yes, we're not
We
sports
don't
savvy.
We're not sports savvy at all. And it was it didn't matter. Like, it was such a wonderful exhibition, and Jason can really combine like his technical skill with telling a story with kind of illuminating these incredible like action shots and people and characters. It was a really cool exhibition, and there are so many pieces.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
there's like an upstairs and a downstairs, and some of them are huge, some of them are really small. It's yeah, you shouldn't miss out on it. It's really, really cool.
And it's free admission, so it's not going to cost you anything
Yeah.
just to come and check it out. Just like going to the Horlock House
Yeah.
on Saturday from 12 to 5, which is super exciting, especially since you guys are going to have some snacks and some drinks. So absolutely love that. And of course, we could not do what we do without our amazing cities. That's the City of Bryan, City of College Station, and the City of Navasota that help all these residencies happen. And so thank you very much for all that. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
yeah, and I hope you all can join us again, because we're going to do this again next month, just to catch up with these two and see what else they have happening there at the Horlock House in Navasota. So make sure you check them out this Saturday. All right, ladies, thank y'all.
Bye.
Thank you.